So what's all this talk about macro and microevolution? In this video, we're going to talk about what the difference is and why it's important. What's up guys, I'm Josh and welcome to Christian Sophistry, taking apologetics to the next level. And if this is your first time here and you want to engage in the conversation, go ahead and think about hitting that subscribe button down below and the bell notification so you don't miss anything. Okay, so today we're talking about evolution. Now, I think I've mentioned my position before, but I feel sort of obligated to do it every time I do a video like this. I am a young Earth creationist, but I like to identify as a lowercase y young Earth creationist. Meaning that is what I believe, and I can argue it just fine, that's my position and everything, but I won't split hairs over it, and I could see myself being convinced of a different position. And personally, I don't think Christians should split hairs over this issue. I do think that it's something that's good to talk about, but I don't think that it's close-handed theology. Also, before I get into this video, if you haven't seen my previous video on different views of origins, the link is going to be up there. Go ahead and pause this video and watch that video first. Okay, so macroevolution is what scientific naturalists, theistic evolutionists, and some old Earth creationists recognize as evolution. This is the general idea that life on Earth emerged somewhere around 4 billion years ago and has developed since then into the diverse world that we see today. Proponents of this view will identify this view as just evolution. This is what people mean when they say evolution. But people that are of different paradigms and different views on origins, they will identify this as macroevolution. The term was just developed as a distinguishing of the concept. The whole point is just to be able to identify it within its own respective paradigms. If anything, I think that it's a helpful term for us to engage in productive discourse. That way, other views like this one can come in. Microevolution is where the real controversy is, where people really get upset at the distinguishing of the terms. Microevolution is a small aspect of the greater evolutionary theory that all people accept and recognize as truth. Although it is accepted by young Earth creationists and some old Earth creationists, they're the only people that actually identify it with this term. Literally, all microevolution is the recognition of the evidence that we can see and observe today. But people that use this term, although they accept the evidence that everybody else accepts as truth, they disagree with the conclusions that are drawn by scientific naturalists. It seems a lot to me that there's this common misconception that Christians just deny the evidence that is out there. Or some atheists are just so bent on slandering Christians that they don't want to actually learn what our worldview is and what we proclaim in it. And no, Christians do not simply ignore the evidence that is out there. Well, most of the time. We recognize the same data and observations that everybody else has observed and recognized. We just come to different conclusions that are consistent with the evidence, but in different paradigms. So, young Earth creationists accept concepts like adaptation and survival of the fittest, and a lot of the other evidences that have been found in the past couple of centuries, but really the past couple of decades. But we don't think that this small window of history that we have available to us that we can see and observe today points to an accurate representation of the past 4.5 billion years. Microevolution is not a different view of evolution, it's just a stricter acknowledgement of what the evidence means. And it takes a different logical route in the conclusive analysis. And just to be clear, this video is not meant to push young Earth creationism. It's meant to facilitate productive discourse. Because anyone that says that young Earth creationism is an inherent denial of the evidence is either spreading lies about Christianity in order to make it seem like the uneducated position, or they're avoiding having to engage with Christians on this topic because it takes actual work to learn what people believe in different worldviews. On this channel, I encourage Christians to look at other views with respect and honesty in representing what they actually believe about the world around us. But I'm not just gonna sit by and pretend to think that it's okay that the same thing isn't reciprocated. If we insist on having productive discourse, I think that starts with accurately defining terms. So you get this video. So that's it for this video on micro versus macroevolution. If you thought this video was valuable, go ahead and like and share this video with your friends. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for arguing with me.